All right, guys, before we get started with the show, we have to shout out our sponsor. It is HelloFresh, everybody. Make this fall the tastiest season yet with farm fresh produce and easy autumn-inspired recipes delivered right to your door with HelloFresh. That's right, HelloFresh delivers all the pre-portioned ingredients you'll need to make easy homemade meals. All the proteins, veggies, sauces, spices, and more arrive in your box along with simple instructions that walk you through each step in the cooking process. It is very easy. We love HelloFresh. Get $10 free. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Start that over. Get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/slash free Virzi. Applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/free Virzi, FreeEvirzi. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Virzi Effect Podcast Show. My name is Paul Virzi. I'm just making sure that everything is good with the video and the audio, and it is. How the hell are you guys doing? You guys are listening to episode 630. Sorry I missed last week. It's been crazy with the new special and promoting, and I got sick, but I'm back here with you guys. I hope you guys are well. I am rocking the Knicks hat because the Knicks season is coming soon. All right. I've been rocking the Yankee hat because the Yankees are in the midst of the ALCS. That's exciting. The Giants need a kicker. They need a fucking kicker. How many times are you going to lose a game because you don't have a kicker? They've been in every game. It's been frustrating, but it's been exciting in New York sports. Before I get started on the show, guys, I want to thank everybody who subscribed to my new YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much. Please listen to the Virzi Effect everywhere you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. Thank you for subscribing. And most of all, right up top, I need to thank all of the Virzi Effect listeners. Okay, all of you guys who have been loyal and are amazing, who have watched and shared and commented on my new special, Reasonable Man. I told you guys earlier, everybody that was close to me said it's the best one yet. And by all accounts, it seems like that is the case, especially with these reviews and comments, people saying it's the best special of all of them. I feel like I made the right move by putting it out to the public for free and doing it myself. It's been amazing. It's only a week old. And it is doing great, and it's because of you guys liking, watching, and sharing. If you could continue to do that, I would really appreciate it. If you loved it, watch it again. If you loved it and you think somebody else would love it, please send it to them. This is all independent. I put my own money up, and I really am thankful people are loving it. What I love is everybody likes a different joke, which is a good sign. Everybody's saying I'm smoother than I've ever been before. So all of the things that kind of validated me, doing it this way and not waiting and trying to shop it everywhere and do all those things. So thank you so much. Reasonable Man right now is, dude, this fucking camera is good, but you can't even move without it being blurry. There's my bone. Can you make a camera that knows people fucking move? I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you guys. I'm trying to move a little bit. It gets blurry every time I move. I don't know what the hell's going on with this shit. But I do want to say a special thanks to a group of people that might be listening now. Okay. And the people that might be listening now might be fans of the Are You Garbage podcast, or as they say, the Army of Garbage. Guys, I went on Are You Garbage to promote Reasonable Man. It came out last week, and I can honestly say I've never felt a response like that from a podcast other than mine. The amount of Are You Garbage people that went to my YouTube and watched it and left a good comment and said they were there from Are You Garbage, that I'm their favorite Are You Garbage guest and all that stuff. I can't tell you how much that means to me. Shout out to the great Kevin Ryan and H. Foley, two of my favorite people on earth, two of the greatest success stories, in my opinion, in comedy, because nobody deserves it more than those guys. Those guys are funny. Those guys were amazing. Nobody's faster than those guys. And just really love to Really, really love to be on the show, and I really appreciate all the support of you guys coming on to my YouTube channel, hitting the subscribe button, and liking it. So thank you so much. Continue to do it. Reasonable Man streaming right now on the Paul Virzi YouTube channel. There we go. Okay. We got some dates to plug. I don't know what's going on in Long Island. They switched the venue, but go to paulverzi.com for tickets to the brokerage this weekend, Long Island. It's been nuts, but check out paulverzi.com and the brokerage in Long Island to find out about this weekend. Then November 1st and 2nd, I will be at Uncle Vinny's in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, guys. I had a great time there last time. November 1 and 2, Uncle Vinny's, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Click the link, paulverzi.com, get tickets to that. And of course, the Providence, Rhode Island Comedy Connection. I believe it's the 21st and 22nd or 22nd, 23rd November. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving. That's what I know. The weekend before Thanksgiving, I believe, is the Providence, Rhode Island Comedy Connection. Tickets are going. Last time all the shows were packed. I love going there. Get your tickets now. We're going to have a lot of fun in there. So check that out. And I hope to see you guys. Hope to see you guys over there in Providence. And Germany, November 8th. Okay? We're trying to plan this trip at the Fat Cat in Germany, in Munich. All right? So click the link. If you're going to be in Germany, let me know. All right? And paulverzi.com for all other dates, guys. We got some stuff coming next year. We're going to San Diego, and we're going to be adding more dates. And anything that gets added or changed, we will let you know. I will post. Get me on my socials. Paul Virzi, Virzi. Now, a lot's going on in sports. A lot's going on in the world. I don't know what this is. Introducing, I don't care about that. A lot's going on in the world, guys. And I'm going to be honest with you. You guys know I don't get political on the show, but I just want this election to be over. I can't take the news saying the same things every day. I can't stand hearing about immigration and abortion and all the shit that's going to happen from now until November, and then the arguments and fights at the Thanksgiving table. I just want this fucking election to be over with, let it settle down, and we can go on with our lives. I know it's a big election. I know there's a lot on the line for people. I know that all this shit, but it's getting to the point where it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And I got to be honest, I say it on stage too. There's nothing wrong with having issues with everybody. There's nothing wrong with saying that Donald Trump is a narcissistic asshole. There's nothing wrong with saying that Kamala Harris is stupid. All I can say is everybody has their issues. God help us all and get us through this and put the fucking right person for the job in this thing so we could go on with our freaking lives. It's nuts. All right. I got old people that I know from years ago that went off the deep end. People that I worked with 20 something years ago going off the deep end. I got people just, you go to somebody, they used to have like kids and show their puppy and show their cat. Now they're talking about Russia and China and Vladimir Putin. And it's like, dude, you work at a fucking Hyundai dealership. What are you talking about? You work at a Hyundai dealership and you're sitting there going on these fucking unbelievable rants, and you're sitting outside with your fucking whatever political hat on, and you're talking to the camera saying this depends on your life and all this stuff. It's nuts, man. It's not, I get it. It's important. I get it. Money matters. I get that a lot of things are going on, but like I can't wait. Cannot wait for this shit to be over with. All right. That's it. Vote for who you want to vote for. Don't tell people who you're voting for either. That's another thing I learned. When people ask, go, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Or, hey, that's something that I keep to myself. I'll never forget. I was in Kentucky performing. And I was talking to one of the staff members at this comedy club in Kentucky. I believe the comedy club is called the Comedy Caravan in Louisville, Kentucky. And she said, yeah, I just keep my vote to myself. That's like one freedom that I just like to keep to myself. And it's a right I have to not tell anybody. And that's a good one. Now, you probably know, people probably know who you're voting for, but it's nice to just be like, nah, I don't really disclose who I vote for, and keep people guessing. That's what you got to do. You got to keep people guessing. Kamala Harris, I'll be honest with you, she did a oh, by the way, thank you guys for the kind words. If you saw me on Fox News with Jimmy Fallon, It's hard to be on a news channel like that and not talk politics, but I didn't want to. We were promoting Reasonable Man. We had some fun talking about airplane stuff and airplane stories and stuff like that, predictions of the future, but not really getting into politics because I don't want to do that, because next thing you know, I make fun of Tim Walz and I'm some right-wing lunatic. I say something funny at the expense of Trump. I'm some left-wing lunatic. I don't want to do that. I just want to have a good time. Have a good time, fuck around, spread the word about my comedy and enjoy myself. That's all I want to do. I'm not trying to do anything else besides that. That being said, Kamala Harris, I've never seen somebody just not be able to. And again, if you vote for her, that's totally, it's totally your right to vote for her. It's totally your right to vote for Donald Trump. The Virzi effect is not, I just say I just say what I see. And what I see is Kamala Harris can't really answer a question. I've never seen anything like it. Like if I ever acted to my wife the way Kamala Harris acted towards like questions, me and my wife would be into some fights. Like if my wife ever said to me, if my wife was ever like, Paul, did you or did you not take the garbage out and run the dishwasher? And if I just looked at my wife and I was like, look, as a kid, as a kid, like my mother moved us a lot. Okay. Paul, did you make the bed or not? Look, I grew up in a middle class family where my parents got divorced. Okay. And we needed beds. We needed beds. Okay. We had comforters. Okay. Because our parents made money to go to the store, get us a comforter to keep us warm. Okay. And I don't want to talk about the past. Paul, did you pick your daughter up from her fucking soccer game? Look, cars are expensive. And to put gas in that car is hard for families. And these are families with aspirations and dreams. All right, I'm going to ask you one more time. Did you feed the dog tonight or did you not feed the dog? Look, there's a lot of hungry dogs in the world. Okay. They need food. Okay. I know that. And on my first day of office, we are going to address making sure that every dog is fed. It's the craziest thing. And then when Trump talks, you don't hear anything except everything's going to be better. And when it was me, it was the best. Now, if there's some truth to that, fine. But but I do give Trump credit for one thing when they were like, what are you going to do about the economy? And he was like, it's energy and it's drilling. I just wish she would do something like that. Say something like that. I mean, these people, these politicians, they don't want to answer when they don't know. And again, I just want it to be over with because the lunacy of all of this. And I will say, I think I mentioned it before, the JD Vance and the Tim Walz debate was actually somewhat normal. Now I do have to talk about, and again, this is not a political podcast, but we're in the midst of an election and I have to say what I see. Okay. Tim Walz loaded that shotgun and I thought he was going to blow his head off from the chin up. I'm not kidding. I thought that Tim Walz was going to this fucking camera. I'm going to take this camera when I'm done and I'm going to drive it to the company and I'm going to duct tape it around a fucking brick and I'm going to throw it in and I'm going to throw it through the window. I'm going to say, fix the focus. Tim Walz was putting shotgun shells in and the way his head was like there and he had it out. I'm going, if this guy pulls the gun in and blows his head off on television, it's going to be the craziest, most horrifying, wildest shit ever. And yeah, I do get the sense that Tim Walz is trying to show people he's a hunter and he goes out for pheasant and when he kind of doesn't, it just looks like that. Um, Again, they all have their flaws. I just see things and I have to make fun of what I see. I have to do this shit on stage because that shit looked like he was going to blow his head off. And the Kamala, the Kamala Harris shit, man. And then I think she went on Fox and got into a fight with the guy. The guy was like holding her feet to the fire. and she was just saying whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. So my vote this year, this election, will be for definitely 100% because here's the thing. I have to vote for. So that's why I'm voting for that person. Um anyway, let's move on and let's talk about baseball. Okay, we're going to talk about baseball. No, your computer didn't mute out. I totally fucked with you guys. And I acted like I said I was going to vote for it. And, you guys were, some of you guys were like it was the end of The Sopranos. Wait, what did he say? Who's he voting for? That was a pretty good trick, though, right? Anyway, all right, guys, before we continue with the show, we have to shout out our amazing sponsor. It is HelloFresh. It is delicious. I love these meal plans. Make this fall the tastiest season yet with farm fresh produce and easy autumn-inspired recipes delivered right to your door with HelloFresh. HelloFresh delivers all pre-portioned ingredients you'll need to make easy homemade meals. All the proteins, veggies, sausage, spices, more arrive in a box along with simple instructions that walk you through each cooking step. The process is so easy. Whip up tasty restaurant-style meals, guys, and they do taste like restaurant. It really is delicious ingredients in your own kitchen without the high price tag of takeout and in less time than it takes to get delivery. Okay, we have HelloFresh. My wife loves it because the portions are perfect. It's so easy to cook because you basically have an instruction card with each step. It does not take long and it's restaurant quality. We love it. All right, what you guys have to do to get this, get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/free Virzi, applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/free Virzi. Virzi. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. The New York Yankees are in the ALCS against the Cleveland Guardians. It's weird saying the Cleveland Guardians and not saying the Cleveland Indians, but they're in the ALCS against the Cleveland Guardians. Now, the New York Mets are in the NLCS against the Dodgers. Big question is, who do you as a Yankee fan, I mean, there we go. This is horrible. You as a Yankee fan, meaning me, who do you want to play? All right, don't worry. Then we're going to get to horror movies. Okay, we're going to do a little sports right now. We're going to do a little baseball. Then we're going to talk about horror movies because I'm into this new horror movie we're going to talk about. And then I'll get you out of here. It's going to be a fun-filled show. Thank you guys for watching wherever you guys may be, in your car, on your treadmill, at home, listening on the radio, maybe listening to me here while having Reasonable Man play over there. Okay, hopefully you guys are watching this shit. Watch it at night, share it. The bigger it gets, the bigger it's going to get. All right? Now, I know, does that make sense? It sound like Kamala Harris. See, the thing with specials is if people watch them, then they're being watched. Do you know what I mean? And if you're watching them, then you know it's being watched. Hold on here. Let me see. I'll wait. I'm getting a phone call from a friend. Anyway. So as a Yankee fan, it's going to be stressful regardless. It's going to be stressful regardless of if you play the Los Angeles Dodgers or if you play the New York Mets. And here's why. If you play the Dodgers, it's Ohtani versus Judge. You know, this guy can pitch. This guy's like Babe Ruth. He hits a ton of home runs. Judge is the Yankee captain. You know, has the Yankee record, 62 home runs. He hit 50 something, 58 this year, whatever he did. He's a monster. It's his team. We got Soto. We got all these people, but we're playing the Dodgers. It's the old rival, LA Dodgers versus the New York Yankees in a World Series. That's great. That's a lot of stress for Yankee fans, probably, and Dodger fans. But the team that would be the most stressful to play would be the New York Mets from Queens. Because if, God forbid, the Mets won that series, the city, the hatred of the Yankee fan from the Met fan, the Mets would have that on us. I know how great it felt when we won in the year 2000. And I know that if the Yankees ever lost that, I mean, George Steinbrenner wanted to beat the Mets more than any other team. He wanted to be the New York team. We are the New York team. We have the history. So losing to a team with a less historic franchise in the same city would be really tough. So those games would be stressful. So as a Yankee fan, I'd rather play the Dodgers. Let it be Ohtani versus Judge and let the fucking dust settle. Let the cards fall where they may. Is that the right thing? Let the whatever. That's kind of what I am rooting for in baseball because it would be too it's going to be so stressful to play the Mets. So there you go. And like I said, Giants need a kicker. Haven't been bad. Should easily be 3-4. Could be 4-3. Honestly, I'm not just saying that. We don't have a kicker. We've been in every game. Daniel Jones been pretty good. We get Malik Neighbors back. We'll see about that. We talked about it. We did our picks. By the way, my picks on anything better. I am 2 games back now, so it's a definite improvement. And the Knicks are going to be fantastic. The Karl Anthony Towns, I see him playing. It maybe now looking at it might have been a move that had to be made. There you go. Let's talk Halloween movies and Terrifier. All right. I watched Terrifier 1 the other night. By the way, my kids watch this shit. And like, they'll like 11 and 12-year-old kids will like sit and watch Terrifier. And it's so fucking brutally gruesome. Now, it looks silly and like almost like a spaghetti western of horror where it's just like clearly like a dummy that they're smacking in the face with blood coming out of it and all that. But um I watched the first Terrifier and I was like, okay, that's kind of creepy. The second one, I didn't watch the third one yet. And I heard the third one is nuts. The second Terrifier, I'm not quite finished with it yet. I'm gonna finish it later. I think I'm like halfway through or like definitely a quarter through. But I'm gonna tell you something. I actually got scared and a little creeped out the second time I watched the beginning of Terrifier 2. There's something about the clown smile and like cutting someone's head off and then laughing about as they're hurt and stuff. And like at first I'm like, oh, this is silly. This is dumb. And then all of a sudden I'm like watching it and I'm just like kind of really seeing the evil. I know that that sounds nuts, but the evil in this and like the evil that's going to happen to this camera company for going out on me again. But no, I just feel that it's really kind of freaky. And when he cut that dude's head off that worked at the Halloween shop and just like threw his head like it was nothing, or then like when he saw the woman whose face he like ate off and her face was all mangled, he's like slapping his knee, laughing and pointing. At first, it's so silly and dumb, but then you're like, this is really fucking, this is sinister, wild shit. But I love it around the Halloween time and around this time of year in the fall. Like this is fucking fun and it's awesome to kind of and you just got to tell yourself, and I know this sounds like nuts to say as a grown man in his 40s, you just got to tell yourself it's fake and makeup and enjoy the story. But it's pretty like, you know what else they do, which is pretty good and scary, is that they show the character in their life and like they have like a real life and a social life and they're these real people and they let the character build up and then they die in the most gruesome way. That didn't really happen too much in the other horror movies. That's why I like the Terrifier. Do you know what I mean? Like Mike Myers would walk to someone's house and like the main star would give a fight, right? The main star might get killed, but they'd give a fight. You know, usually it was like Mike Myers, the people that got in his way just got brutally slaughtered and killed, and then he kept going. In Jason, you know, 2 people are having sex in a tent, and one guy's like, "Yeah," the guy's like, "I'm gonna go take a piss," and then she's like covering up, Mike, Mike, where are you? And then she sees Mike's head roll by, and then her head gets cut off, and that's that. But in the Terrifier, and like, you know, and then like somebody big in the story is like the last one to try to fight him, and they either die or not, but they're like the story. In the Terrifier, you'll have you'll have a straight up like character story, like a mom divorced, right? The kids are trying to get through life, get through school, and all this. And then the dude just takes the mom's brains out, and it's like, and you're like, oh shit, she had a bunch of scenes before this, and now she gets slaughtered. So that's kind of like the cool thing about Terrifier. I'm watching Terrifier 1 and 2 so I can eventually go see Terrifier 3 because when I was on the Jim and Sam show and Sam Roberts was saying that people were legitimately running out of the theater throwing up, I'm like, well, that's nuts, you know. But hey, listen, dude, you got to take a gore and horror to another level. I don't know what it's gonna be like in like 2000 and like, 50. Imagine what a gory horror movie is gonna be like in like the year 2100. It's gonna be, well, what else can they do? Like they're stomping people's heads into mushy and blood's going, they're ripping people in half. He cut the one girl with her legs open from the vagina to the head straight down. Like, I mean, it's like it's like where is it going from here? I don't know what else you could. He's just setting people on fire, laughing, and he's just like he ripped the guy's eye out and he put it in his eye. And then he just goes to the laundromat. Like it's pretty nuts. So I gotta say, I'm kind of intrigued with seeing where the third one goes. I know this all sounds nuts and disgusting, but it's fun around Halloween. I don't watch stuff like this all the time, by the way. And I told my kids, like, don't watch this. But my kids, they don't care. My daughter less than my son. My daughter more than my son. My son won't watch this. Like he's just like, well, oh, that's stupid, but he doesn't watch it. My daughter will watch it. I'm like, is that bother? She's like, no. He's like, I think it's funny and I know it's fake. Because for me, it was Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, those are the, I might have done this before, but I think the best horror movies of all time have to be Friday the 13th, Halloween. I have to say, I don't know if it's a horror movie, but I do put Scream, even though Scream wasn't around Halloween time. Scream, the original Scream was a great horror movie with the twist of two people. As far as killer movies, I should say, as far as killer movies, I would have to say, you know, I mean, maybe a Friday the 13th. The Exorcist was so nuts that like I'm not into that demonic throwing up, possessed exorcism type shit. That freaks me out. Um, just because you think like, wow, can somebody, like I know that there's not going to be a clown that's like gets away with the shit and gets their brains blown out and still lives because he can't die, I guess. So I could watch that. But when it comes to demonic shit, no. I heard my dad and mom said people were leaving the theater during that, you know, um, and that had to be nuts in the 70s, talking about like your mom does this and you're just throwing up and head twisting and pissing and all that stuff. Like that made people freak out. So for me, yeah, Halloween, Friday the 13th, no, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. Which Friday the 13th was good? Maybe was it two? I don't think it was one. I didn't love one with the mother at the end. Maybe two or three was good. Scream and I'm gonna say maybe Smile, dude. Smile fucked me up. Was it Smile? There were two. What was the other one? Let me know in the comments if you guys watch this. Let me know what the other movie that came out around the time of Smile that was like a crazy horror movie like that, because that screwed me up too. I might have even talked about it on the show, but those got me. Those were good, and it's fun around this time of year. So that's all. That's all. A little horror movie talk on the Virzi effect. 6:30 for you guys to I don't know, give me your top five. Hit me with your top five in the comments and let me know what you guys think. I should be back in studio in the next week or so with some more guests. Let me know some of the guests that you want. And yes, I know now that things are settled, we are going to get to the questions for TVE at Gmail and send those in for next week. That should be set up. So questions for TVE at gmail.com. com. Okay. And it's no, like not question mark, the word written out. Anyway, there you go. So, this Halloween, I don't know. Like my kids are at the ages now where I want to go with them, but I don't know if they're gonna go. Like my kids are at the ages where like one can hang out with friends and maybe, they're like 15, so I don't think they're gonna do it. So it's either gonna be like mischievous shit or just hanging at a house, chilling, maybe drinking. I hope not. And my little girl, I think she's got like maybe 1 or 2 more years of it. So it's gonna suck when they're just like, "Hey, can we do this? Can we have a party and not take your little kids trick or treating?" There's gonna be something that you miss about that. So if you're a parent and you have that, and you're going with your 5, 6 year old, cherish it, man. Enjoy that shit because it is like it's going to be something you think about and it's going to be something that you will always remember and cherish. It's a huge important thing to do, and your kids will always remember that. So yeah, and I'm really trying to, and this is going to sound so different than what I said with the horror movies, but I really am. I said I'm trying to stay away from horrible shit. I'm watching, you know, I'm watching maybe like because I have a theory. I have a theory. Maybe I'm watching these horror movies and these killings in horror movies, and it's not phasing me because I know it's fake and I'm enjoying that it's fake and makeup because I'm seeing real horrible shit on the news that I don't want to see. You know, seeing these kids, they're showing these kids dead in rubble and their parents holding them crying. I can't watch that shit. It's like it's I get the argument, all people need to see it in order for it to stop, but I can't watch that shit. I can't watch shit happen with kids. I can't watch true crime with kids. Can't watch any of that shit, man. It's fucking horrible. So watching like a make-believe rubber head fly off a guy's, and all that, it's easier, I guess, is what I am trying to say. So, guys, I got some cool shit coming up. I can't wait for you guys to see it. All right, I'm going to be doing something. I can't announce it yet, but it is sports related, and I think it's going to be fun and funny, and I think you guys are going to like it. And your boy is going to be shooting something pretty fucking cool and anything sports related. Because let's be honest, if I wasn't a comedian, it would have to be something in sports. I mean, no disrespect to anybody who does. I mean, or sales or sales. I did sales. I knocked phone, cable, internet. I did cold calling. I did door knocking, all that shit. So I would either be in sales or I would be in a sports job. I was going to college for communications for sports. So it's nice that I get to be a comedian and still kind of talk sports, which I love to do. But I mean, that's just could you imagine if your job was to like how great, do you guys know who Mike Breen is? Mike Breen is in the Broadcasting Hall of Fame and he calls Knicks games. Shout out to Mike Breen. He's from Yonkers, New York. He grew up a Knicks fan and his job is to call Knicks games and other games, but he's does the Knicks too. And like that's his main job. Like that's a lifelong dream as a kid to crush it at what you do and then just talk about the team you loved your whole life. That is amazing, man. That's fucking nuts, dude. Um, I was going to make predictions on the election. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to predict the election like I predict sporting events, but I think that I'm going I I think under overs, who's going to cover, if it comes in late, if it comes in early, if it's a last second kick to the wide right, Trump loses or something like that. But no, I'm going to predict who I think is going to win a week before on the show. I think I know who's going to win, but I think I know who's going to win it. And I don't want to get people, and people, here's the other thing. Don't get pissed off when I predict who I think is going to win. Okay. I voted for Eli Manning. Okay. This is who I voted for, guys. This is who I voted for. I voted for Eli double ring, 2 ring Manning right here. All right. There you go. There's the name Manning. That's who I voted for. I did not vote for anybody else. So when I make a prediction, and I probably am going to vote this time. I think I'm going to vote this time for a presidential candidate. Which one? You'll never know. But I will make a prediction on who I think is going to win like a week before. I think I know now, but you never know with 3 weeks left. You never know with 3 weeks left. So there you go. I will leave it at that. I hope you guys, yeah, let me know if Terrifier 3 is good and send me your top 5 horror movies of all time. I'd like to see that. And we will talk next week. I'm going to be back in studio. I really thank you guys so much for watching Reasonable Man. The amount of comments, the amount of positive comments on it has been amazing. If you didn't like it, just don't leave a comment. But no, all the nice things that you guys are saying, I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. And it's the hard work paying off. Shout out last night too. People came out. I was at the Dojo of Comedy with Joey Diaz. Me and Joey Coco Diaz co-headlined the Dojo of Comedy in Morris Plains, New Jersey, upstairs from Tiff's Grill and Ale House. Dude, amazing. 100 people packed in there. Such a great time. They want to do it monthly. Shout out to the owner, Mike, Joey Diaz, Danny Brad, the local comic Vic who got on stage. Aaron Berg jumped on stage. It was nuts, man. They were like, Paul, you're going last. And I had to follow Aaron Berg and Joey Diaz. And it was such a blast, such a great time. It might be a monthly thing. So thank you to everybody that came out there. So much fucking fun. Joey Diaz is such a great dude, such a great comic. His stories, some of the shit that he says, he was talking about some like actress or someone like from back in the day, and he was just saying shit. Oh, she was on top of the world. That fucking she was fuck. And just listening to him, we're crying, laughing, just listening to Joey Diaz tell stories in the back. You know, he's like, well, when I went to prison for kidnapping somebody, and I'm just like fucking eating an appetizer before I go on stage, listening to this unbelievable um listening to these unbelievable stories from this guy. So is this thing in? Okay. I got to make sure. Imagine if I did this whole thing and there was no sound, it would have been horrible. Go to paulvirzi.com, everybody, go to paulvirzi.com for all of my shows. The brokerage in Long Island this weekend, go to the website. Any changes, I'll always update anything on my social media. Germany, November 8th. November 1 and 2, Uncle Vinny's in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Get tickets for that. Coming in with a bunch of new material. What else? What else? What else? And then we have the Providence, Rhode Island Comedy Connection, and more dates are coming. I love you guys. I'll also be doing some shows at the Stand in New York City. Thank you guys. Subscribe. Please keep listening to Reasonable Man. And also check in on me when I do my Instagram lives. I do Instagram lives all the time, talking some shit to you guys, telling some stories, and send your questions to questionsfortve@gmail.com. I will see you guys next time. I love you. Take care.